Hello, my name is Ivanna, and I am going to be explaining today my final project on theories of psychology. And I'm going to be presenting my lesson plan and how I applied my theories. So, the class subject will be literature and language arts, which will be more specifically in themes, and characters, and writing techniques. The duration of the class will be from 50 to 60 minutes. The age of the students will be 18 to 20 years old. And the theories used, I chose Atkinson and Triffin's cognitive information processing theory, Gardner's multiple intelligences theory, and Berner's scaffolding, because I think that all of these theories can be applied together and they also work very well. So, starting with the lesson plan, in the first level, we have remember, which will be presented by number 1, the presentation of the class or subject. Number 2, the teacher begins the class by asking the students to remember their previous knowledge on the following concepts, which will be literature, theme, character, and writing techniques. And this will bring the information from the long-term memory to the short-term memory using previous knowledge from the students. In this one, the verbal linguistic intelligence will be applied. And yes, so this will be the beginning of the class. The teacher will present it, and then the teacher will also present the objectives of the class, which will be to learn the key concepts of literature and its classifications, what is character and how does it work, explore what is theme and how to write one, and writing techniques that can be used in literature. So then we'll begin with the questions. The teacher will ask the students to raise their hand and participate and answer these questions. So in the next step, we have understand, which will be that the teacher will now begin with the presentation of all the concepts, explaining each one of the concepts. And the teacher will hand out a piece of paper and will ask the students to write their own definition of literature. The teacher will also ask the students to write down the name of the classification that they like the most for an activity that they will do later. And the teacher will also ask the students to write down the name of the literary devices for an activity that they will do later in the class. And so in this part of the class, the interpersonal intelligence will be used or applied, bodily kinesthetic intelligence also, and visual and spatial. So this part will be the actual class, the explanation of all the parts in order to help the students to have to connect their previous knowledge with the new knowledge, so that later on in the class they can create. So here are the concepts of the classifications, and in this part I put this little note that is like you learn in your interpretation of essays class in first semester, as if they were students of lengua inglesa. And this will also bring the memories from the long-term memory to the short-term. Here's an explanation how to write a theme, and all the steps, an example also, and what is character and things to consider. This will also be applied later on in the homework that will be lent to the students. So here are the writing techniques, which is another part of the class, an explanation of each one of them, metaphors, similes, analogies, imagery, personification, and another one. So the next step is apply, which will be when the students begin to do the activities. So the students will be asked to choose one of their favorite books, short stories, poems, etc., and write a theme using the explanation made by the teacher, which will be this one right here. And the teacher will pay close attention in case the students need any help with the writing. Also, the students will be allowed to ask other students for help if they want to do it. And then the students will now be asked to write down 3 examples of one of the literary devices presented by the teacher. It can be based on a novel, poem, essay, etc. that they like. And the students may get off the seats and look for inspiration outside the classroom or inside the classroom. So in this part, the visual spatial theory, intelligence will be applied. Berners scaffolding with the students getting off the seats and looking around. Interpersonal intelligence, bodily kinesthetic, and also Vygotsky social interaction when the students ask each other for help. So in this part of the class, also obviously the activities will be done. Then we have the next step, which is analyze. So in the first part, which is A, once the students are finished with their activities, the teacher will ask the students to break down their themes. So the students will have to read the theme from the class, explain in what text they base their themes, and finally explain why they wrote what they wrote. So using the example that I wrote from the poem The Raven, they will have to say like an endless sorrow, mourning from eternal love, and an irreversible loss that will be nevermore. So they will have to explain all the parts. So like why nevermore, why endless sorrow, why mourning for eternal love and irreversible loss. And this part will be like connecting all of these parts learned during this class. So the teacher will take notes for future evaluation, which will be in the next step. And B, the students will team up and share their 3 examples of literary devices. The students will share their papers with the classmates, and they will try to identify what literary device was used by their classmate. So they will work in teams. This will be the same visual, spatial, Berners scaffolding, interpersonal, all of these intelligences. And the next step is evaluate. The teacher will check each team's answers and give them notes if necessary. Then the teacher will share the previous notes on the activity of theme, which is the student individually, to give them personal notes. And then the activity B, with the activity B, the students will also evaluate if the examples written are correct and they will fit into each, and if they fit into each category, and they will correct each other and provide feedback if necessary. This will help them to have social interaction, interpersonal intelligence, and interpersonal intelligence, since they will be working in teams, but also self-reflecting on the work that they did. And the final step will be create, which will lead to the homework. And the students will be asked as homework to write a short story or poem. So the first one will be the verb write, a short story or poem. And the students will have to use at least 4 of the literary devices seen in class. The teacher will share the presentation as guidance so that they have all of these information for their homework. And number 3, the students will have to write a theme for their text. And number 4, the students will present to the class their homework individually next class. And that will be it for my lesson plan on Theories of Psychology, my final project. Again, I am Ivanna Rodriguez, and that will be it. Thank you so much.